So I've gone back and forth with whether or not I should make this video because it's been in the back of my mind, and ultimately I decided last night, no, I'm gonna make it. One of the things is I've really been wanting to make sure that, the videos that I post on YouTube aren't negative or anything like that. I want to keep things positive. But I also want to keep it realistic and really authentic to who I am. And last night I was thinking about how when I was younger, I really, when LiveJournal came out, I was really into writing these long posts and sharing how I was feeling and kind of just putting it out there into the world. And when I began to connect with both acquaintances and friends in my life, I was afraid to share these things person to person, but for some reason putting them typing it out and just kind of posting it online, for some reason that was a little easier for me, and I began to realize I was able to connect with people this way. And eventually that led to me doing the same thing on MySpace. And then once MySpace was out, Facebook came around, and I did the same thing on Facebook back in the day. And ultimately it was just, a way for me to put my emotions and feelings out there into the world, be vulnerable. And as scary as it was also really nice because I was able to connect with people. And what I'm getting at is me making this video is basically kind of the same thing. And that's kind of what I decided, kind of thinking about things last night. So I've got a few things kind of going on in my mind that I've been kind of just battling. One of which has been, I feel like I haven't been putting in as much effort into the YouTube channel, even though I have. I've been all over the place. There's been some videos that I haven't even put out, but I've made, and I was going through a lot of just software issues, and that's not even what this video is about. But ultimately, I feel like I've just been kind of still all over the place. I haven't quite figured it out. And this was also another reason why I wanted to put this video out there, was mainly just as a way to kind of document where I am and just share that. So one of the things that I've also been trying to do lately has been trying to find a job, so that way I no longer have to be self-employed as a photographer, even though I love photography. But I want to be able to freely feel like I can make videos without feeling the guilt, without feeling the overwhelm of what do I create, what do I put out there, what do people resonate with, what do it's just all these, for me, overwhelming questions. And I wind up just getting stuck because I'm also pouring in a lot of this other mental energy into the job search, while also kind of navigating this internal battle with myself, because I'm not sure if I should be upset at myself. Did I get myself into this? And what I mean is, one of the things that one of the main issues that I'm running into right now, I've been applying to so many different places, so many different types, everything from just retail or customer service, or just any sort of job, low paying jobs even, to also things where I'm actually a really, really good fit, and then also to where I could actually probably be a good fit, but I don't meet all of the either experience or the actual like college, degrees and whatnot. And I'm in this weird middle ground of being overly qualified for some jobs. Like, I personally feel like I'm not getting these, like, what I view as just regular, just everyday person jobs. I feel like people feel like they know that I won't be allowed to be walked over, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Because I have so many years of working for myself, and maybe it seems odd that I would trying to find a job, like a low paying job. Anyway, and I'm also underqualified for some of these jobs, whether it's based on experience or, just degrees, basically. And I felt a little frustrated because I'm like, did I get myself into this? Because I've literally only had like 3 jobs in my life, and I'm now 41. So right after high school, I wound up getting a job that honestly was basically kind of like handed to me because I was working for a doctor's office that my mom worked at, and she essentially got me into it. And it was great, and I worked there for a long time until it just became too much to where it was just, I'm not going to go into that, but then I wound up applying to jobs that I didn't really know what I was doing, and it feels very similar to where I'm at right now. But through luck, I wound up landing a job and kept with that for a very long time, and eventually got to the point where I was fired for not doing my job because I was just so bored. Looking back, I'm like, oh, it's because I have ADHD. But getting fired from that job led to me starting my photography business, and it's just been lately just too much for me to, like, I'm just tired of the stress of always having to look for work, and weddings in general is just, it's a lot of investment, and so and then I wound up getting a job for a little bit, like a year and a half, 2 years ago now, I think. And that didn't wind up working out. I just had some family issues that I had to deal with. And so that's essentially like the only jobs that I've had, up until this point. Like, I feel so, I don't even know how I should feel. Like, I'm 41. I went to school, but I never graduated college. I graduated high school, but that's the most. Jumped back and forth between different, like, changing degrees and whatever it's called, and never completed anything because I never really felt connected to anything either. And, like, even thinking about, like, just growing up as a kid, like, I never knew what I wanted to do. Like, I was always trying to come up with these jobs for myself. Like, in school, I would bring a bunch of pencils, like, during test times, and I knew that a lot of people wouldn't remember their number 2 pencils, and I would sell them a pencil for like $1 or something like that. And for a little while, I think when I was like 16, I recorded bands with just my cassette 4-track player recorder, and I thought I was gonna do that. I was really into wanting to do, like, music recording and production and stuff, but that never really went anywhere. So I did that for a little bit. I also tried to get into web design and making websites for people. I thought I would do that for a little bit. I also then got into doing graphic design. I thought I would do that. That just didn't work out. Eventually, photography wound up being the thing that I felt like I was good at, I enjoyed, and people actually paid me for. And I did that up until, well, I mean, I'm still doing it, but now I'm like wanting to figure out myself. Like I don't want to do photography like the rest of my life, at least wedding photography. I'm getting beat. Yeah. And so I thought doing the YouTube route would be great and all that. And so I've just been really frustrated because I'm trying to find this balance of looking for, like, putting in the time and work and energy into finding a job, while also trying to find the time and energy, mainly the energy, but into making videos. But then like all of that compounds and just like builds upon each other and just turns into this like big overwhelm of like, what am I doing? Who am I? What videos do I make? It's just all over the place. And I'm also frustrated because like I've landed quote unquote 2 job interviews and they all just turned out to be scams. And one was actually a really good scam because it felt too good to be true, but the website URLs and like the emails, like domains, everything like lined up to the company that I was supposedly being hired for. There weren't typos or anything. And so I was like, no, I guess this is legit. Like, this is a legit job because everything lines up to the company's domain. And I started like taking time out of my day to kind of like plan out my schedule, how I'm going to do things, and how I'm going to balance out family life and work life and making videos. I had all these video topics lined up and I was really excited, and only come to find out that like it was just a really good scam. And then I even, in one of the last videos I just made, I was trying to get through the video pretty fast because I got this last minute job interview, and so it was supposed to be on Zoom, and rushed through the video and hop on Zoom, and it's just a scam. And I'm like, also I'm just frustrated with that aspect, but also too, like, there's been some jobs where I was like, I'm such a really good fit, and I'm also really, really excited to work for this company, and I poured a lot of time and energy into actually writing out very thought out responses, or making PDFs, and like being able to showcase my skills and things that I've made, and like all of that. I've even, for one company, I made a video for them and like showcased, like I made demo stuff, and I poured a lot of time into these things only to not get any response. Like nothing, not even like, sorry, it's just not going to work out, or nothing like that. Like, and I know that I didn't have to make videos for these job applications. Like I wanted to make sure like I was standing out, and I was showing how excited I was for these interviews and these companies, only to not even get like one single response, even a reject. And I've just become so frustrated with everything, with the time and energy being poured into job hunting, being in between of being either overqualified or underqualified, and nothing really working out in the middle. And also being like, I could actually pursue YouTube, but like not, like really just kind of getting to a point where I'm like questioning myself, even though like I shouldn't be. And yeah, I'm just like, did I do this to myself as a kid? Like, should I have just gone the route of just finishing school? But even at that, like when I was trying to go to school, I had to drop out of college because the job that I had wouldn't work with my school schedule, and it was just so many different things that just didn't wind up working out. And I know I shouldn't be hard on myself, and I really do try and balance that out with it's not my fault, but it's just, things will work out and things will come together, and I do believe that. But I also believe that it's completely okay with feeling this way and just feeling it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I've got no like conclusion. I've got nothing like that. But I mainly just wanted to be vulnerable, put this out there, and just kind of document this point in my life where I'm like, I'm 41 years old. I've got no college degree. I'm doing my absolute best while also trying to see the best in myself. And it's such a struggle. And I don't know if you can relate, or if, I just wanted to put this out there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've got any tips for me, or if you are kind of going through something similar, or you have in the past. It'd be helpful. So that's it for me.